everybody, and welcome to the first video from Outside the Box Market. Well, it's not actually a market yet, but that is hopefully down the road. So my name is Jessie, and I decided that I really need to introduce myself and introduce why I'm doing this. So I decided that as part of our social media presence on Wednesdays, I'm going to be dedicated to sharing why I want everybody to come on board with our movement. And so I was like, you know what, as our first Why Wednesday, I guess I should hashtag it like my students do. It's like this, hashtag Why Wednesdays. I was like, you know what, I should tell people why I'm doing this. I've already kind of alluded to it in some of my posts already, but you know, I really feel very strongly about why I'm doing this. So anyway, as I said, my name is Jessie. I'm a high school biology teacher. I live in New Jersey, which is in the United States, for those of you who are in other countries. There's a lot of you activists in other parts of the world. And I teach in the same district that my oldest son goes to, so we're local to our school. We're involved in the community. I have a 15-year-old son and a 12-year-old stepson, so we've got two hungry boys, hungry mouths to feed. So that's, I want people to know that I'm not just saying these things without the experience of feeding kids. So the vision for the future here is we are currently on social media, and we are going to be continuing making blogs and posts and these video blogs or videos, I don't know. And we'll continue to do that for a while and build up our social media presence. So if you feel like we are doing something good, share it, like it, all that social media stuff. And then eventually the idea is to have a storefront that would change the way people grocery shop. So, we do have a lot of food that we all have to get for our families. And if you look and start paying attention to how much of your food is packaged in plastic, it's like the majority, all right? And that doesn't have to be. It's just the way that it is right now. So my goal is to change that and make it easy for people to change that in their lives. So that's kind of the goal, to have a storefront one day. So why? Why am I doing that? Oh, here comes one of them. I'm recording, so now you're going to be on here. You better say hi. To the whole world.
Hi.
That's Liam. That's the 12-year-old. He's come down to get more snacks. As I mentioned, hungry mouths to feed. Big tub of pretzels wrapped in plastic. We buy in bulk, but it's still in plastic. At least he's using a refillable glass to get his water, right? You're demonstrating how to live green. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. So that's basically the why. I had a little bit of a glitch there, so hopefully this is working. The other members of the family that you will probably see in videos from time to time, I have two dogs. They're like my babies. You can ask anybody. I'm the crazy dog mom. So I've got Ted and Lou. They're both little puppies. They're not actually puppies. I just call them that. And then my goofball husband, who will probably appear somewhat frequently because he's our comic relief. His name is Seth. So you will probably see them and my eldest son, Jordan, walking around doing all sorts of things. So anywho, storefront, one day, why? So I can remember this started for me, this journey back in college. And the passion I had for the environment, or I have, really started then. And I remember I was sitting in a class, and it was called Current Issues, and it was all about, things that were currently going on in the world. And we had to watch a movie called An Inconvenient Truth. And I'm not trying to bring politics into this. Al Gore was the presenter on the video. So, but either way, as a scientist, there were a ton of facts in that were things that could not be disputed, that I could see with my own eyes, that were just real. And basically, our planet was in big trouble. And I remember sitting in my college classroom, surrounded by my friends, and I had a kid. I had a kid who was a preschool age at that time. None of my friends had kids. So here I am watching this boring documentary, and I'm crying. And they're all like, Jessie, why are you crying? It's like the most boring video ever. I'm like, because look at the planet that I'm giving to my son. This is what my kid's going to have to deal with. When he is an adult, when he's a college age, he's going to have to be dealing with these issues that we're not even like thinking about right now. What the heck? What is the point? I'm like, here I am. I'm in, college. I'm doing all these things. I'm taking care of my kid. I'm driving him to practices and, t-ball and piano, and I'm helping him with his kindergarten homework and, making sure he's healthy and happy and fed. And I'm like, what the heck is the point if the planet we're giving him is going to be crap? Like, nothing else matters. Nothing else matters as much. So that was my mentality. I was really depressed for a little while. And then I was like, you know what? We're going to do something about this. So I had some really awesome professors at Kean University where I went, and they were an inspiration, and they helped me. We started a club. I was on a committee with the president of the university, and I really felt the passion, and I felt like we were making good changes, making big, little steps, big strides. So then I went on and I became a professional, and I was a teacher, and I had, I bought a house and got married, and, our families were growing and all this stuff, and the environmental stuff kind of took a back seat. And I always had it in the back of my mind. I always used reusable bags and recycled. But my passion was kind of like being truncated. I don't know. It was in the backseat. And then recently, I started really tapping back into it. And a few weeks ago, we're having some issues with our classes. So again, I teach teenagers. It's a rough age, I have great kids, great students. But there's just definitely a generational difference that I've noticed throughout my almost 10 years of teaching. And I decided one day that, I'm going to ask my students what their opinion is on these generational differences. So we took a day off from bio, and we had these really in-depth conversations, and they were super honest. And one of my students said to me something that stuck with me. She said, I feel like my generation resents older generations because they messed up the planet. There are all these problems because of them. And then when we complain about it, they call us whiners. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, generations ahead of them have really messed up, polluted, created polymers that can't break down ever, have carbon emissions, all of these crazy things. And we're like, here you go. Here's this world. Now fix it. Eventually, you're going to have to fix it. And no wonder that they feel this way. I honestly don't know how they could feel hopeful, So that kind of restarted this for me. And there's always been this quote that stuck with me and that I think about often. And it's actually the banner or the background on my social media profiles for Outside the Box Market. And it says, it's a Native American proverb, and it says, we do not inherit this earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. And I just want you to think about that for a second. It's a beautiful quote, and it really just says it all. We think about the fact that generations before us, like we get our land from generations before us and we're affected by them. But what we give our kids what we do during our time here on this planet is what we leave for our children. And what we're currently leaving them is not good. It's just not good. If you are anti-science, anti-climate change, whatever, you can't deny the fact that there is plastic filling our oceans and that our seafood now is so polluted with plastic that when we eat it, we're getting exposed to plastic in our diet. It's like taking a big bite out of a piece of plastic. We can't deny that our water is polluted, that we have more CO2 in the atmosphere. We just can't deny these things anymore. And we care so much about our kids. It's time that we started, showing it in ways that actually matter for their futures, So I totally do not want to be some pretentious website. I am not better than anybody. I have plastic, as you can see, in my kitchen. I buy these things because I'm on autopilot half the time when I go to the grocery store because I'm just trying to get in, get out, get dinner on the table. And I know that most people are in the same boat. So I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I am not trying to make you feel like, oh, I'm the worst person because I bought plastic. No. I'm trying to be realistic. I'm trying to give you cheap and affordable and common sense ways that you can make an impact in the least, because every little step is going to make this place better for our kids. And that's what it all comes down to. So that is my big why. That's my Why Wednesday. So thank you so much for watching this, guys. I really have so much hope for this. And it's all gonna come down to you guys and whether you can relate to me, my family, my life, and the message I'm trying to give. So share it, like it, all that stuff. All right? Have a great day, guys.